Are debt and investment completely the opposite? Can you have one without the other? How can being in debt help build wealth? Let's find out. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the 5 things you need to know to leverage debt to grow your investments. Believe me, debt is one of the most powerful tools in the entire world to leverage investments. However, you have to do it correctly because all debt is not created equal. You want to only leverage debt that will help you make money. There's a difference between consumer debt and investment debt. Consumer debt are on goods that don't increase in value. Investment debt are debt on things that do increase in value and also give us cash flow in the meantime. I want you to take out as much debt as you can on things that generate revenue and grow in value. That's how you make money. But why does debt help build wealth? Well, the very first thing is you can leverage very low interest money. 3 to 4% interest rates, which is what the banks are loaning money at right now, is unheard of. People that are not accepting 3 to 4% money is asinine, and here's why. Let's say I have a bunch of money to invest in a real estate deal, and I can just pay cash for this real estate deal, and it's gonna make me about 8% cash on cash return, and you know cash on cash return is how much money I make based on how much money I invest. So let's say by investing in this real estate deal, I'm gonna make 8% on my money. But if I take a loan out, it's only gonna cost me 3% on how much money they loan me. That's a 5% difference. That means I'm losing 5% on my money by buying that property versus leveraging bank debt. Debt is so powerful. Let me tell you, leveraging low interest debt will allow you to make more money and then more money and then more money. In fact, it's really hard in the commercial space, nearly impossible, to build a commercial business without leveraging debt. You just can't make the numbers work if you're paying cash for 7-figure buildings. You have to leverage bank debt in order to get into that game. And thank God, because getting into the commercial game, it is a powerful real estate game. For example, last year we bought a 6-unit deal in Indiana that cost us about $780,000. If I was to pay $780,000 for that property and pay cash, and then I was to earn that money every single month, I would be making very little compared to if I leverage bank money. In fact, I'd be making about a 3 to 4% cash on cash return by paying for all of that building cash. But I leveraged a 4% loan from a commercial bank, and I raised $200,000 from investors, and now we created a 7.5% cash on cash return. So we doubled our return on investment by leveraging bank money. And that's the power of investment debt. Leveraging bank debt changes the game. And even if you're going to start a business, because investments can be in businesses and real estate, the SBA, the Small Business Administration, which is loaning out government money, will loan you 90% of the value of a business. So if you want to buy a business that's cash flowing, they'll give you 90% of it. You want to buy a business for $1 million, they'll give you 900 grand. You just have to come up with 100,000 and you have the business. That's an amazing opportunity. Why would anybody pay $1 million when you can get government money probably in the 3% range on your money? Why would anybody use their own cash when I can get government money in the 3% range? It doesn't make any sense. Leveraging debt is one of the most powerful tools to building your wealth. The second tip is debt is a great hedge against inflation. Because we've printed so much money throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, the value of the dollar is going to decrease because there's more of them. It's a supply-demand issue there as well. And the other thing is things are starting to inflate. Things are starting to be more money. Our lumber prices are skyrocketing and inflation is kicking in. Gas prices are going up. Things are becoming more expensive. When you lock in and borrow money, you're borrowing against a stronger dollar and locking in. It's like you're freezing time. As the dollar becomes worth less and things cost more, you're leveraging debt and you're locking in on a stronger dollar. And guess what your property will do? It'll increase in value. Why? Because things are increasing in value. It's called inflation. So you're buying a property, leveraging debt, and then inflation's bringing your property up along with appreciation. So you're taking a huge spike in revenue and using somebody else's money to do it. Believe me, debt is the best hedge against inflation and the devaluing of the dollar. And the third tip is buying investments fully in cash eats up most of your return on investment. Especially today when we're buying things at a little bit of an inflated price anyway, we need every edge we can get to generate revenue. And using your own money when you could make 8% on it and not use the bank when they're only going to charge you 3% is just simply foregoing 5% of your money. There's no reason to do that. So again, putting your own money and paying cash for something, or putting in other people's money and paying cash for something, is going to really squash the cash on cash return, and they're really not going to make all that much return on their investment. But debt gives you the ability to increase that return on investment and really start making more money on your money. Before we go into the last few tips, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We give videos every single day on investing in real estate, building businesses, and growing your wealth, and I don't want you to miss out on that. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification so you get notified every time we drop a brand new video. The fourth tip for leveraging debt is the fact that it is less cash needed to get the deal done. So you don't have to have as much capital in your bank or raise as much capital to get a deal done, so it makes bigger deals accessible to investors. That $780,000 deal, to come up with $780,000 would have been a lot more work than the $200,000 I came up with. I would almost have to 4 times that investment in order to get that deal done. So leveraging bank debt means you have a lot less capital to come up with to get into that deal. So when we're buying our multifamily properties, we raise money for the down payment, all the closing costs, some fees for ourselves, and then we get a bank for the rest. Usually the bank is loaning 70 to 80% of the value of the property, meaning we need to come up with either 20 to 30% of the money for the down payment. Usually it's in the 25% range. Well, when I only need to come up with 25% of the property price rather than 100, it changes the size of the deal I can get into and the cash needed to come to the table. The fifth tip is to assess your risk tolerance. Debt makes some people very nervous, and I'm not going to project my risk onto you. If you're really risk adverse to debt, this is going to be a tough strategy. But I will tell you, risk averse is often a mindset issue because maybe you've gone through something in the past, it's made you adverse to risk, and it's made you adverse to debt. And I'm here to tell you, leveraging smart debt on real estate and things that generate revenue and have a great track record are very safe investments. So leveraging debt is a powerful way to build wealth, but you also have to assess your own risk. Assessing your own risk to see if you can take debt or not is often a work of the mind. We have to bring our mindset to understand more debt does not mean that the debt's going to all come crashing down and obliterate us as long as we're investing in very sound investments. Our mindset is what holds us back 99% of the time. And that could not be more true inside of risk. I talk with a lot of people that invest in our deals, and one of the reasons they invest in our deals is they don't have to go on the loan. The only reason they invest is because they don't want to be on the loan and they don't want that risk. But guess what? I make as much money as they do, and I don't put any money into the deal because I welcome that risk. So if you can take some more risk and stretch that mindset to be able to feel comfortable with a little more risk and a little more weight on your shoulders, then you can make a lot more money. And with the weight on your shoulders, the goal is not to take more weight off, but to build stronger shoulders. And that's what building a strong mindset will do. And here's a pro tip from Robert Kiyosaki. Robert Kiyosaki, who wrote one of the most powerful real estate books of all time, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, said in that book, leveraging debt is one of the reasons he is where he is. Robert Kiyosaki has about a $700 million line item of debt. He has a lot of debt on his properties and businesses, and he's worth almost $500 million. So the idea is leveraging debt is a great way to grow your net worth. My personal mentor has about $500 million in real estate and has a couple $100 million in debt. The idea is having a lot of debt can create a lot of net worth. But if you can't shoulder that risk and you feel like it's all going to come crumbling, it's going to keep you adverse to this and you're not going to really walk forward. So we got to stretch the mind so we're willing to invest in these deals and take on the debt that it takes to do it. Also, I want to give you a free gift today. I have a free multifamily masterclass that I want to gift to you. Down in the description, there's a link, freemultifamilymasterclass.com. It's going to go straight to a 60-minute training. You get into that training, and I'm going to walk you through the 5 things you need to know to lock in real estate, raise money, find deals, and start building wealth. I'll see you in the training.